Very good afternoon from the Bateau Turf in Lakelands for the annual Anzac match between Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club and Reds. And this is an annual event that they alternate between venues. So this year it is at Fremantle's ground, and next year, of course, it will be at Reds. And what they're playing for is the David Bell Trophy. David Bell, of course, who was the captain of the World Cup winning side in 1986. And he played for both of these clubs, and the trophy is named after him. And I'm pleased to say I caught up with him on the telephone earlier this week and asked him straight away how he felt about having a trophy named after him when these two clubs meet.
Actually, I had the pleasure of playing for both clubs in the 70s and 80s, and not only made friendships then, but established long life friendships from both groups, both teams. I find it as an honour to have the Anzac Day game played for a trophy named after me. But I really see it as a recognition of my small contribution to the history of both clubs. And, the history has been great at both Fremantle and at the Reds. I love the association with the best player of the award today, with Kevin Martin being named as the donor. Kevin was a legend of Fremantle Hockey Club. WA hockey, Australian hockey, and would have been was a great teammate and a friend to everyone involved with him. The historic part of the day, I think, is absolutely sensational. I love the rivalry and the tradition between the two clubs, and with it being celebrated on such an important day in Australian history. And I love going down and watching. I think I've missed a few, but I really made the effort to get down there each time.
Now, that's fantastic. I mean, on a day like that, where do your loyalties lie, or should I not ask that question?
Well, you can ask the question, but I'm very impartial. I probably barrack for the winner. How's that sound? So there's
very political.
Pretty even split between the time period, I think, between the two clubs. But look, I just love the rivalry between the players out there, and obviously that's changed over the years. Although there's still a few of the oldies playing, but I love watching the young guys coming through and the quality of hockey that's played on the day.
Fantastic. Look, thanks very much, David. Always good to hear from you.
Pleasure.
Well, as you gathered, that was David Bell, who played for both clubs, and the trophy that they're playing for today on Anzac Day is the David Bell Trophy. And as he mentioned as well, Kevin Martin, Player of the Match Award, and Kevin Martin played 812 games for Fremantle Cockburn. Massive effort. That's a lot of games to have played for one club. And the best player on the ground will obviously receive that award. Now, we've just been told that the official ceremony may be delayed slightly as we're trying to find the umpires. They can't find the umpires at the moment, and there is a little bit of concern that they've either got lost or they're just running a little bit late. Anyway, my name's Ashley Morrison, and I'll be sharing all of the action with you today on this very special day. And should just share with you, seeing as we are talking about Anzac Day, and obviously I couldn't tell you how many hockey players there were that we lost in the two world wars, and obviously other wars that Australia and New Zealand have been involved in, but I can tell you that there have been 15 internationals lost their lives in World War I and World War II. 2 from England, 1 from Scotland, 4 from the Netherlands, 2 from France, 2 from Germany, 3 from Japan, and 1 from the USA. And one of them was pretty special from an England point of view, in that Reggie Pridmore scored 4 goals in the game, the first Olympic game that England ever played at the Olympic Games. And England won 8-1 against Ireland. He scored 4 goals, and his 4 goals in that 8-1 victory actually was a record that stood until the 1952 Helsinki Olympics, where India's Balbir Singh scored 5 goals in India's 6-1 victory over the Netherlands. And Pridmore was killed in action, aged 31, during the First World War, serving as a major with the Royal Field Artillery near the Piave River in Italy. So obviously very sad to have lost all of those international players, and I might just run through their names. Ivan Lang of Scotland, John Robinson of England, Jan Ankerman of the Netherlands, Emil Dussen from the Netherlands, Maurizio Galvo of Germany, Felix Grimonprez from France, August Kopp from the Netherlands, Fritz Mesner from the Germany, Aichi Nakamura from Japan, Katsumi Shibata from Japan, Jack Turnbull from the USA, Ruvan Daha from the Netherlands, Tola Vologe from France, and he also competed in track and field as well, and Sadao Wakizaka. And as I say, those were the international players that I could find that lost their lives in World War I and World War II. Obviously, I couldn't find any from Australia and New Zealand from certainly international hockey, but I'm sure that there were plenty that played for clubs around the world and also here in Australia and in New Zealand. Now the players are about to line up in front of us. Not sure, I still haven't seen the umpires, but I'm assuming that somebody is here. And you just feel for the club because obviously they put a lot of effort in to get this happening. We will cross down to the pitch shortly as the players take their positions so that you can hear the ode and also the minute silence, which I don't know if you can hear that, can you? Of course, there's nothing to hear. So just asking for everyone to be upstanding here.
The land on which we stand today. We acknowledge a continuing connection to land, waters and culture and pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Can I please ask all players and officials to make their way onto the field and line up to show their respect to the Anzacs.
The players just lining up now behind the flags, and we have the Torres Strait Islander flag, the Aboriginal flag, the Australian flag and the New Zealand flag from left to right.
I will now pass the mic to Jada, who will deliver the oath of remembrance.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Can I ask you all, please, to remain standing for a hearty rendition of the national anthem?
Well, that concludes the formalities, and we can turn our attention now to the teams that are going to be contesting for the David Bell Trophy. David Bell coming forward to toss the coin as we look at the lineup for Fremantle. Fremantle Cockburn, that is. I can tell you there's a couple of changes from their team last week that lost to Westside Wolves. Gobin Gill gives way to Nathan Zinner, who'll be making his debut today. And Matt Edgar is also missing from their team lineup, I believe, with a slight injury. So just those two changes, and certainly there'll be some players to look out for. Lane Carr impressed the last time down here, and I'm sure Dylan Martin will be hoping that he can have a big game at the back and keep what is usually a high-scoring Reds at bay. And, of course, Ben Rennie will be looking to keep a clean sheet if he can. Turning our attention now to Reds, and their player coach Ian Smith is out. Unfortunately, he has picked up a slight injury, so he has been the replacement for him is Remington Scott, who will be wearing number 9. And you will see that Tom Craig is lining up, one of the Kookaburras. Now, we were told Kookaburras would not be playing in the competition this year until after the Olympics. Now, the official line is this is due to Tom needing match play as part of his rehab, like a return to play schedule. And the national program is on rest this week due to high volume competition schedule that was just completed and cannot provide the players with the game time that they need, and the players need a rest. So that is why he's playing, and apparently the agreement between Hockey Australia and Hockey Western Australia is that the clubs this year facilitate special needs availability, as well as allowing players that are not selected on any national tours to be allowed to play for their club if applicable. And that if applicable to the players' needs and the national program. Now, there's a little bit of a sting in the tail there with Tom Craig being allowed to play in this game, because he was a Fremantle player for the last 2 years and actually only played one match for them in those 2 years, and now, because he's coming back from injury, has played 2 games for Reds in the last 2 weeks. And so, as you can imagine, there's a little bit of banter going around the stadium here as people are a little bit miffed, and I think the feeling is that if he's allowed to play, then they should be allowed to have their international players as well, just to even things up, if those players, of course, wish to play. Well, it's certainly a debate that's going to go on in the bar, and it's a debate that's raged for the last couple of years, as some of the international players have not played very many games for their club sides that they have been picked up in the draft. In fact, I can tell you Tom Craig has played 25 games in 7 years in the local competition, and that's 155 games available. So certainly some of them don't play as much as the West Australian League would certainly like. But this one's going to be an interesting one. Tim Howard, I can tell you, is also playing for Wasps today in their Anzac Day Challenge as they take on Victoria Park. And Victoria Park not allowed, again, like Fremantle Cockburn, to have their international players playing for them. So it is something that I think needs to be looked at, and it's probably something that a lot of people, certainly around the ground, feel is a little bit unfair at the moment, although obviously everyone will be very happy if Australia can pick up the gold medal in Paris later this year. Well, Fremantle currently sitting 10th on the ladder, and that is after 3 games. They've drawn 1, lost 2. And Reds currently sit in 8th spot. They've won 1, lost 2. So there's not much to choose between the teams at the moment. And Reds, of course, had a very big loss last week, 6-3 to Victoria Park. While Fremantle Cockburn, well, the Magpies, they had a 1-0 loss against Westside Wolves. So they've had some pretty tight games. They went down 3-2 away at UWA. University of Western Australia drew 1-1 here with Hale, which, of course, is available on the Fremantle Cockburn YouTube channel. And then, of course, that loss last week to Westside Wolves. And I can tell you that in the Anzac Day challenges, well, they've had 5 games going back to April 2017. Of course, when COVID was on, the season didn't get underway as planned, and so there were no games till much later. So there was no game that year in April. But in the Anzac Day Challenge, they've played 5. Fremantle have won 3. Reds have won 1, and there's been 1 draw, and that is since 2017. Obviously, there have been games prior to that, but that's since 2017. So we'll have to see how that goes. Reds looking to try and get back on the winner's circle, I suppose you'd call it, and claim the David Bell Trophy. And I did like David Bell's answer when I asked him which team he supported. He goes, whoever wins. Well, you can't back a loser when you do that, can you? Well, we're just seeing the players go through a final warm-up, and then we should be getting things underway, although I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule by the looks of things. We've got about 7 minutes to fill until the game actually does get underway. So certainly it should be a tight encounter, there's no doubt about that. Our umpires, who should be here now, I'm just trying to see if I can see them. But while we just look for the umpires, we might have some more messages from the sponsors of Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club who make this live stream possible. Fremantle still going through their warm-up to our right at the moment. And of course, if you want to get involved in hockey, they do have their come and try sessions, and you can join them at the Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club and give hockey a try. And apparently they are doing that on the turf here, and it's for players from 5 to 17, and free sessions get underway at 4:30 p.m. And of course, they are, I believe, the only club that has a podcast, and they have the MagPod. The Magpies producing their own podcast now, hosted on the very YouTube page that you're watching this game on. So once you finish watching, you can subscribe and make sure you don't miss any episodes of the MagPod, the podcast for the Magpies. And certainly Matt Allen doing everything he can to promote the club, and Tim Bottler involved in that as well. And certainly trying to boost the awareness of the club here. I have to say it's getting a little bit dark, and we're just wondering whether they might put the floodlights on. Doesn't look like there's any rain imminent, but very, very cloudy sky overhead, and the clouds seem to be drifting this way. The blue sky just dissipating above us. There's a good crowd in here, though, ready for today's game, as you would expect on such a special day. And Fremantle looking to hang on to the David Bell Trophy. Just about 4 minutes now until we get things underway. It'll be interesting to see how this game pans out. Last year, well, Fremantle won 3-2 away at the Reds, and that was in the Anzac Day challenge, and then in July, back at this ground at Lakelands, they went down 3-1. So the winners in both those games picking up 3 goals. Aaron Kleinschmidt scoring 2 that day for Reds here at the Baddow Turf, whereas in the away fixtures, Declan Spencer scored 2. Now he's not available, and Gobin Gill got the other goal for Fremantle Cockburn, and of course he's not playing as well. And the reason that he's had to make way for Nathan Zinner, who's making his debut, as I mentioned, is you're only allowed 3 imports in your team, and Gobin Gill is still classed as an import at the moment, won't be after this season, I've been told. So he had to give way for Nathan Zinner. And I believe also that one of the other, Aaron Hazel, is still at the moment classified as an import. Unfortunately, didn't play enough games last year because he was injured, and so has to just wait a little bit longer until he becomes what is recognised as a local player. But Aaron Hazel on his day can turn a game in a second, and he'll be hoping that he is amongst the goals again today. So the warm-up almost concluded. And hopefully I can see the 2 umpires on the far side. They're supposed to be, and I think they will be, Matt Willis and Mark Keating. And certainly there's Mark Keating. I'm just wondering if that is Matt Willis under the hat. Well, the ball kids taking up their positions. Fremantle go into one last huddle now. Tim Deven, their player coach, still has plenty of running in those aging legs, let's say. The man from Tasmania, of course, was part of the 2014 World Cup victory when Australia demolished the Dutch 6-1. I think Rick Charlesworth called that competition when he was coach as near perfection as you could get. So Reds breaking up their huddle and making their way out now onto the turf. 4 players from Darwin in their lineup, the Reds team. Although Adrian Lockley's been in Perth, Western Australia for a long time now, but Zach Rackus is another one. Tarrant Hammy-Jones is one of the others. Again, he's been here for a while now as well. And to make up that list is Hugh Wiltshire. And of course on the opposite side we've got Darren McCormack, who is originally from Darwin as well. So you just think Lockley and Daryl McCormack, both of them, plenty of games under their belts. So it looks like it will be Fremantle Cockburn to get us underway. Whistle goes, and he dummied to go back. Aaron Hazel gets a free hit straight away off the foot of Tom Craig. Dylan Martin. Square that time from Lee Cormack. Martin playing it for good deflection into the circle. Good defending though from Xavier Jennings. Fremantle got it back across the face of goal, and it came off the shins. It's a penalty corner. Tim Deven was firing in at the back post to get the touch if it got to him, but it never made it. Went off the shins and over the baseline. So first penalty corner of the match goes the way of the home side. This would be ideal start if Fremantle Cockburn can convert. Hayden Walker in goal, standing in their way. Was Reds' fairest and best last year, Hayden Walker. So certainly not an easy keeper to beat. Hazel flicks, good save by Walker, trying to clean it up. The shot coming in very quickly as it was injected in, across off the pads again. Walker involved once more. Hayden Walker, the reason that Fremantle Cockburn aren't in the lead. 2 sharp saves as the ball comes wide now for Andrew Folds. Strong defence from Fraser Gilly, gets a little shove after the ball's gone away from Adrian Lockley. Gilly won't mind that though. Just fire him up even more. And going down the left-hand side, Jennings now plays that one forward for Reds, looking up to try and find a ball through. It was Tom Craig, but it's turned over. Picked up now by Lane Carr. Good steal again, this time by Reds, but no whistle. Play on. Lane Carr on the ball once more. Deven down the line, wanted the return pass. It eventually came to him, but it was impeded on its way to him, and so the free hit to Fremantle Cockburn. He comes wide now. Fraser Gilly in acres of space, feeds it to the edge of the circle, trying to turn is Hazel. He's got round one defender. Good recovery though by Folds. Folds helps it down the side of Kleinschmidt. That was good defence as well. Lee Cormack just dinking it onto Kleinschmidt's foot now. Kleinschmidt just standing his ground and not allowing Fremantle Cockburn to get on. Yeah, there's a bit of a Bronx cheer there. Lee Cormack getting very frustrated. Aaron Kleinschmidt just holding his ground. Cormack was not in the right spot according to the umpire, so he made him come back. So that'll be an interesting tussle to watch as the wind gets up a little bit. Fraser Gilly again. Short pass to Cormack. Cormack, not too many options on, has to go square to Gilly. Kleinschmidt closes in. Gilly goes past him, then manages to find the foot. Oh, dear me. That was totally accidental. Fraser Gilly just getting his shoulder into the head of Adrian Lockley. And there was nothing malicious in that. Lockley just turning and Gilly turning at the same time. First time from Deven is a good ball. Strong defence, though, that time coming from James Winning. Winning, you feel, who will have a lot of duties in defence today, just taking on that role that Ian Smith normally takes in the defensive line. Winning. And that was Lane Carr with a stick check first before he got the ball over the side. Hugh Wiltshire goes back to Winning. Brodie Foster, good run from him, but he didn't get the ball on his stick. Carr now. Strong on the ball, Lane Carr, but he's ended up losing out that time to Hugh Wiltshire. Foster now. Foster, though, just turns it over this time, and it's Nathan Zinner making his debut for the Magpies. Zinner, of course, played in the Junior World Cup with Brodie Foster and was a very influential player. I was fortunate to be commentating that. Hails originally from Armidale in New South Wales. Almost 5 minutes gone, no goals as yet, thanks mainly to Hayden Walker in goal for Reds. Brought down brilliantly by Jennings once more. Gilly stole it momentarily, but it's won back again that time by Remington Scott. Hazel holding it up on halfway, throws it over the top. Kyle Webster chasing, but he won't get that one. Willing chase from Webster. That's got, oh, Gilly, I was going to say that's gone over his head, and it's going to be a nice run for Zach Rackus, but Gilly managed to stick the stick up like a periscope and got the touch that he needed. Now it's Hazel. Hazel trying to play the short pass that time into Zinner. Free hit will go his way on the 5 metre line, or is it a long corner? There's a little bit of confusion, I think. Well, one umpire, I think, was indicating a free hit, the other saying it was a long corner. It is a long corner. Dylan Martin now goes on a run forward. Kleinschmidt tried to tackle from behind. In it goes, took a deflection. Desperate defending again from Xavier Jennings. So it's another long corner. Chad Giles over the ball for Fremantle. Trying to turn was Harrison Keemer, but he left the ball behind. So it'll be a free hit now, and he puts his hand up by way of apology. Oh, that's a good steal again from Giles. Giles still going through, tries to get the touch away. The whistle has gone and a free hit to Fremantle. Wow. They'll be frustrated about that. Into the circle they go, along to the baseline, and a penalty corner conceded again by Reds, and it's a stick check. Here's the call from the umpire. Said that the Reds defender played the stick rather than the ball. It's a second penalty corner for Fremantle Cockburn. They were so close to scoring from the last one. Can they get past Walker this time around? Jimmy McPherson makes his way down to the baseline to inject. Aaron Hazel waits at the first battery. Dylan Martin at the second. Hayden Walker just the one defender on his right-hand side. McPherson injects, goes to Hazel, look to play it into the foot, and a very late whistle. Well, it went into the shins of the runner, I thought, but Matt Willis, the umpire on halfway, has said it was too high as it struck the first runner. Mark Keating had given another penalty corner. A little bit of a push from Hazel. Jeremy Main from the side. Throws it high and long. And it was intended for James Cameron, but both players running towards the ball. The decision goes towards the defender. I have to say it's fantastic to see so many people down here. I know you can't see it because obviously our cameras are on the same side as the fans, but it is standing room only. Wonderful to see. Nice turn there from Brodie Foster. Good pass forward. The deflection was so close. It was a good idea from James Cameron because he had Rackus running off the shoulder of Tim Deven. Had he got that touch and just taken some of the sting off it, would have run directly into the path of Zach Rackus. So James Cameron, right idea, just didn't quite manage to pull it off. James Cameron, who's got a birthday coming up on the 5th of May, so just a reminder for his teammates to get the cake ready. Oh dear, just as praising him. Took that one over the side with his heavy first touch. Well, Harrison Keema, again, I thought was under the ball there, but decision goes to the defender. Main throws it high and long. Good covering defence comes from Lee Cormack. Gets it forward now to Chad Giles, goes back to Cormack again. Just deflected away as it was about to come to Harrison Keema. Reds have the ball. Tarrant Hammy-Jones goes back into the defensive line. Played square by Jamie Lewis. Jamie Lewis, who is one of their players from overseas. Hails from Ipswich in the UK, Jamie Lewis, and went to Nottingham Trent University. Just down below us now, playing the ball back to Hammy-Jones. It was a good run that time coming from Jeremy Main, and a good pass finding Brodie Foster. Foster trying to cut in, good defensive play coming from Tim Deven. Harrison Keema, just a nice little pass infield from him, finds Rhys Angwin. Angwin gets the free hit. No, he doesn't, and shake of the head. I must admit, I thought that was Fremantle Cockburn ball as well. Jimmy McPherson picks it up, goes to Lane Carr. A little bit of space now for Fremantle as it's played forward, this time by Jennings. Good intercept defensively again from Jamie Lewis. Hazel looking to play it in from the side, just takes the touch because there wasn't much on. Chad Giles keeping possession, goes all the way back to Darryl McCormick. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, still 0-0 in this Anzac Day match between Fremantle Cockburn and Reds. Great save again. Good shot on the turn from Rhys Angwin. The ball coming up, though, off the pads of Hayden Walker, creating danger. So it is a penalty corner again for Fremantle, their third. Will it be third time lucky? So close with the first. Two sharp saves from Hayden Walker. Good work by the first runner on the second. Hazel again is lining up at the first battery. Rhys Angwin, who was so close with the follow-up on the first one, is making his way to the baseline. And Tim Deven, well, he's lining up at the second battery. I'm sure everyone knows it will go to Hazel. There's a little bit of a conversation whether they might try and slip it to Jimmy McPherson. In fact, it's Hazel goes to the second battery. Good save again from Walker. Rebounds favours Fremantle. It's another penalty corner. Again, Angwin was there, ready to try and get a touch. Hayden Walker is earning his reputation today. Hockey players tend not to get paid, so maybe they get credit with the bar or the canteen. So Hazel again is lined up at the first battery, doesn't switch, another sharp save. Well, Hayden Walker just got his mitt at the right height to deflect it wide, played in early. Harrison Keemer couldn't get the shot away. There's a counter-attack now. Tom Craig surging over halfway, feeds it into the path of Rakus. Rakus cuts infield, gets past one defender, that was Gilly. Good covering defence coming back by Lane Carr though. And a penalty corner going the way of Reds, and Fremantle Cockburn feeling a little aggrieved. And Lane Carr in a bit of trouble. Is the physio coming on? She's come on to the pitch on the far side. Lane Carr back up on his feet. Ben Rennie is out there trying to make sure he's okay. So too Nathan Zinner. I think he's going to go off for a couple of minutes anyway. That's the penalty corner decision is not being changed. So Reds now have their first penalty corner. Just over 4 minutes left in this first quarter. So, first real opportunity for Reds to beat Ben Rennie. Got a few options. Making his way to the baseline is Tom Craig. Brodie Foster lining up at the first battery. Tarrant Hammy-Jones at the second. Foster marking his run like a fast bowler. Just putting a line on the circle and then just making a line where he's going to stand. They go to Hammy-Jones. It wasn't the best of balls in and deflected by the postman over the baseline, so long corner. Hammy-Jones did pretty well to keep that one on target because it was a long way. He had to move before he could get his shot away. He throws it to the air, out onto the left-hand side. Jennings pings it in. Rennie makes a save and then scurries back and makes another save. It'll be a long corner just in line with his right-hand post, taken quickly. Hammy-Jones tries to play it in there. Dylan Martin got a touch on that one. It's another long corner. It's a lot wider than that. Lockley. Hammy-Jones again. Fires that one in, no touch though. Really good position taken up though by Tom Craig. Just another probably metre and he would have deflected that one into the goal. Jennings impeded. Jamie Lewis, the player penalised. McPherson plays on quickly. Lockley cuts that one out very easily. Here's Craig again. Of course, so close to being a Fremantle player. Played just the one game in 2 years. And didn't go 5 metres as Lockley played that one in. Just for those of you that have just joined us, the reason that Tom Craig is playing and Tim Howard for Wasps today is it's part of their injury recovery program. The Kookaburra's program have nothing on this week because the players had to be rested after their series against India. So an agreement was made that these two players would be allowed to play. That's a great bit of work by Angwin, edge of the circle. He goes past the first defender, and that was good work to get past Lockley. And again, it's Hayden Walker, whose strong save at his near post. Good position, Craig. Well, Dylan Martin asking what for, and I have to say, I wonder what that was for. McCormack underneath that one well. Dylan Martin on the ball now for Fremantle Cockburn. Short pass from him is a good one to pick out Nathan Zinner. Zinner gets a little bit of space for himself, plays it away that time from Remington Scott. McPherson goes wide. It's Fraser Gilly on the ball now. Intercepted by Hammy Jones. Read that pass well. Lockley looking what's available, slides the pass towards Rackus. Martin comes across and makes sure that it never reaches him. Deven, a heavy touch from him. Lockley takes it away, but then his stick goes flying. So Lockley self-passes, carries it over the 23-metre line. Tries to play it to the edge of the circle, but McCormack is there again. Darryl McCormack carrying it forward. Tom Craig goes through the back of him. And Darryl McCormack shake of the head there. Dylan Martin now goes back to McCormack. We're into the final minute of the first quarter. It's been lively. Play back by Zinner again. Come wide this time now to Nick Jennings. Back into Nathan Zinner, a little bit of space. Foster shadowing him all the way. Darryl McCormack advances on the right-hand side. We'll go back into Zinner again. Zinner wins a free hit just outside the 23. Less than 30 seconds left. That goes up off the defender's stick. Lockley brings it down. Zinner got stick before he got the ball. Foster wants to get on with things quickly. Dylan Martin cuts out the pass that was intended for Tom Craig. And now Martin belts that one forward, claiming it took a touch, but I'm not sure there's going to be much more play because there is the hooter, and that is the end of the first quarter. It's been fast, it's been exciting, and there have been opportunities. Hayden Walker, the star of that first 15-minute spell, with 3 or 4 really top-class saves, keeping Reds in the game. The score at the first break is Fremantle Cockburn 0, Reds 0. The whistle goes for the players to start making their way back out onto the turf. Fremantle huddle breaks up. Reds had already broken up. So no goals as yet. And I can tell you in the 15 games they've played since April 2017, Fremantle have been held scoreless 4 times and Reds 3 times. So there's no goals as yet. Goalkeepers have definitely been in the ascendancy. And Hayden Walker, the star of that first 15-minute spell. Hazel gets us underway in the second quarter. Martin, short pass to Devon. Darryl McCormack playing his 447th game. Hopefully we'll be live streaming maybe his 450th, but I'm not sure that we will be. I think they're away that week if he continues to play every week. Well, that's again a decision that's gone against Kyle Webster. And Fremantle supporters a little bit surprised at that decision. James Winning couldn't get that on the end of his stick as he tried to get it on the reverse stick. Jennings plays it into Martin. Devon just pulls away into space. Goes back again. McCormack had to stretch to get that one. Lee Cormack now. Comes wide once more to Jennings. Jennings holds onto it well. Dylan Martin. Short to Devon again. Devon now goes wide to Fraser Gilly. Good trap by him. Devon once more. Fires it all the way through. Webster with a good run, but couldn't get on the end of that one. Carried out again from Jeremy May to Lockley. Lockley put under pressure well by Nick Jennings. Nick Jennings, who went to Bomaderry High School in New South Wales, in Shoalhaven. Population of 6,600 or thereabouts. It's a free hit from down by the corner. Many to my right, whose view I would have thought was slightly obscured, thought it was a long corner. It's hit the foot, so again, Hazel plays on. And that's hit the foot, definitely inside the circle. So it will be another penalty corner for Fremantle, their 5th. And will this be the first time they've actually managed to convert? Gives me a chance once again to just remind you, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening at Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club, catch the Mag Pod. They're producing their very own podcast, hosted on the very YouTube page that you're watching this game on. So when you finish, please make sure you like it and subscribe, and then you'll make sure you don't miss an episode of the Mag Pod, the podcast for the Magpies. So Angwin again goes to the baseline. Hazel, who won the penalty corners at the first battery. Dylan Martin at the second. They go to Hazel again. It's a mistrap though. Played into the circle. Good work being done holding on to the ball, and another penalty corner won this time by Nathan Zinner. Zinner, as I mentioned, making his debut for Fremantle Cockburn. Actually, with Aaron Hazel in 2018, it was Hazel and Nathan Zinner. They both won the best indoor and the best outdoor junior player in New South Wales. Aaron Hazel again goes wide, and it was a good deflection away from goal from Aaron Kleinschmidt. Be another long corner to Fremantle. Dylan Martin over the ball on the 23-metre line. Comes back this time to Lee Cormack. Fraser Gilly, a little bit of space on the left for him. Goes up off the stick and out over the baseline. It's going to be the free hit, though, on the 5-metre line. Zinner says, I'll take it. Gilly drops back. Zinner. Lockley won't let him anywhere near going inside the circle. Did eventually get it in there, and Jennings' touch was a good one, as it just took it away from Fremantle Cockburn and allowed James Winning to get it outside of the circle. That's gone painfully into the left ankle of Zach Rackus. In fact, I think it actually was Jeremy May, not Rackus, and there's the goal! Well, the deflection eventually coming. And it's Angwin who's got the goal. Oh, was it Rhys Angwin? No, it was Nick Jennings, I think, who got the final touch. So Fremantle open the scoring. And it's probably just what they deserve, the way they've been playing. Just 4 minutes gone. So ideal position now for Fremantle Cockburn. It's going to take something a little bit special to beat Hayden Walker. Here's Harrison Keema again. Just was deflected up ahead of Walker as he came out. Free hit goes to Reds. Craig playing it forward, looking for the run of Foster. He's managed to release it, goes round Rennie, takes a tumble, and a penalty stroke given to Zach Rackus. Rennie just clipping the player as he ran past him. So penalty stroke, Kleinschmidt will come forward. And it's literally just 1 minute after taking the lead. So Ben Rennie Kleinschmidt versus Rennie. Rennie trying to make himself big, which shouldn't be hard because he is a big man. Oh, and that was very close. He went the right way, but Kleinschmidt pulls Reds level. So we're all tied up at 1 apiece. And confirmation it was Jennings that scored the goal. I believe that's his first for the club. And that's why there were plenty of pats on the back for him. So Fremantle have to do it all over again. Dylan Martin, angle pass. Keema got a touch. Should have maybe let it run. Angwin would have received that one. And again, probably just didn't hear the shout if there was one. Can't tell you the floodlights are on, so hopefully we'll brighten up a little bit soon. It's in that horrible twilight time of day. And Kleinschmidt has stolen that one away from Zinner. Deven comes across illegally and gets it away from Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt now leaves the ball behind. Brodie Foster pushes it wide. Lewis lifts that one into the circle, but Rennie just deflecting it over the baseline. It'll be a long corner, fairly central by his near post. Brodie Foster again. Main was moving up the right-hand side. Winning may use him now. He's in a bit of space. Jeremy Main. Oh, lovely steal. That was a brilliant steal by Webster. It's almost like a magician the way they pull things out of your pockets that you didn't even know were there. Keema really put under pressure that time by two Reds players, James Winning and Hugh Wiltshire. Deven again is getting some close attention. There's a little bit of an edge coming now into this match, you feel. One back again by Deven. That's a super pass. And a penalty corner as Webster is upended at the edge of the circle. Just a bit more physicality coming into this now in the last couple of minutes. 7th penalty corner for Fremantle Cockburn. Kleinschmidt makes his way back to put the protective gear on. He will just sit inside Hayden Walker's left-hand post. Angwin wanders down to the baseline. And Dylan Martin is at the first battery, Deven at the second this time. So will Dylan Martin be able to restore Fremantle Cockburn's lead? It's a good trap this time. He plays it behind. It's the deflection is superb. Well, Harrison Keema, it went to McPherson. Keema took a good position up and deflects it past Hayden Walker, and it was going to take something special to beat him. So Keema with a really deft touch. Well, it's raining goals at the moment, 3 in 3 minutes. Fremantle do have the lead once more, and of course both teams today playing for the David Bell Trophy. Foster gets it under control, goes back to Hammy Jones. Main just didn't quite get the connection he was hoping for, and it goes over the sideline. A little bit of urgency now. Cormac in from the side. And it's a good ball forward from Jennings. It's going to go out, though, over the baseline. 16, it was a smart ball, actually, but it just probably had a little bit too much pace on it. And right across the defensive line. Lewis now. That's a free hit. Devon takes it quickly. Keema feeds it into the circle. Hazel! Whoa, that was some save. Well, Hayden Walker again. Full stretch. Hazel thought that was arrowing into the side netting, and somehow Hayden Walker kept it out at full stretch. Goes back to Cormac again. Rackus is working hard as a forward line. Daryl McCormack. Rackus is going to have to give chase now. Youth versus experience. Carried out that time by Wiltshire. And that's a strong tackle coming in from Darren McCormack that time on James Cameron. Devon goes off for a breather. Jennings goes back to Hammy Jones. Winning, just pushing up a little bit too far as Hammy Jones was concerned. Tom Craig now dropping back into that defensive pocket. Now Winning will get it in space, just over the halfway line, advances, trying to find Kleinschmidt. Two players on Kleinschmidt, and he couldn't get it under control. It was Keema and McPherson double teaming him. Kleinschmidt got a little touch. The ball goes through to Nathan Zinner. Zinner turned Lockley, and off Lockley's stick it goes over the side. Zinner will leave it now for Dylan Martin. Sure, they know each other well from New South Wales. Martin originally from Wagga Wagga. Great block again by Lockley. He's been busy in the outfield. Oh, good work again by Zinner. Zinner feeding it into the circle. Hazel was there, keeps it alive. Brilliant. And now Martin, another sharp save by Walker, and Martin's rebound is off target. Well, Hayden Walker, I reckon he's almost in double figures now, the amount of saves. Not played out of defence well. Hazel gets it back, stumbles, will get a free hit, and Hugh Wiltshire turns his palms to the sky as if to say, who, me? Oh, wow. Angwin shakes his head. Was deflected into the circle. He got the final touch, got it past Walker, but because it came up off the defender's stick and went above knee height, it created danger inside the circle. That's why we're back for the free hit. Cormac, lovely ball. Jimmy McPherson's calling for a foot. Spin is Hazel, and a 16. So Reds under a bit of pressure with 4 minutes left in this first half. Kevin Martin, player of the match. At the moment, you'd have to say Walker has got to be a contender. Strong challenge coming in from Xavier Jennings. And I should just tell you that the Kevin Martin Player of the Match award will be held in the club rooms, so we won't actually see that. It will be after the players have showered that it will be announced. So there will be no award down on the pitch at the end of the game for that. Nathan Zinner pulls away from his opposite number 9, Remington Scott. Got the pass away to Hazel. Top of the circle, Devon tried to slip it, but Jennings intercepted before it found its way to Webster. Daniel Fisher playing it down the side. And that was a very physical challenge that time. I think that was Jennings. Well, that looked almost to be dangerous, the way Jennings had to actually move out of the way as Lockley flicked that one forward in the air. So it's another free hit to Reds. Reds fans on the edge of their seats now with just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half, urging their team to get an equaliser. Kleinschmidt bangs it towards the circle. McCormack slipping, and a penalty corner has been given. And Darryl McCormack is frustrated with himself. Just appeared that his feet just got a little bit stuck and he stumbled and it caught the foot. So second penalty corner now for Reds. If you remember the last one, just didn't quite go as planned. It was a little bit far off target as it was injected in, and Hammy Jones did well to get the shot on target. So again, it's Foster at the first battery, Tarrant Hammy Jones at the second. Tom Craig to inject. They go to Brodie Foster. He flicks straight into the shins that time of McCormack. So it will be another penalty corner for Reds. Darryl McCormack, the oldest man on the field of play. I think he's 44 years of age from memory, and still doing the first running at penalty corner duties. They go to Foster again. McCormack comes out, and this time it hits him a bit higher, just above the knee on that bit of flesh just on your quadricep, which is a little bit painful. Brodie Foster immediately apologises, and McCormack will try and just run that one off, I think, and get a little bit of ice on it maybe at half-time. Martin taking his time. McCormack still dancing gingerly, just out his shot. Martin self-passes. And looks a lonely figure, but there are players fairly close by. Martin forced wide by Tom Craig. That's a good pass as well. Aaron Hazel manages to find Gilly. Gilly cuts infield superbly. Oh, and the deflection's a good one. Zinner now is closed down. He finds a foot. And that should be a penalty corner, and it is a penalty corner. Wonderful skills there by several players. Zinner being one of them, Fraser Gilly another. So penalty corner number 8 for Fremantle. So can they just stretch that lead? What a time it would be to score. Just over a minute and a half to half-time. If they can get another goal now, it would really put them in a good position heading into the half-time break. Hazel goes just slightly to the left. It's Dylan Martin was there, but they go to the other man, and it was Keemer, I think, who had the shot. And again, it's Hayden Walker, though, that denies Fremantle Cockburn. Fraser Gilly plays on quickly. Hazel tries to bang that one in. Lockley got his stick to it, though. Webster now into the circle, and another penalty corner to Fremantle Cockburn. Number 9. So Martin jogs back forward again. So Jimmy McPherson making his way to the base. Has to collect the ball on the way. Zinner is there, Martin is there, and Hazel is there. Zinner is on the second battery alongside Dylan Martin. Aaron Hazel is at the first battery. And it goes to the second, Dylan Martin. Oh, yes! Dylan Martin, bottom corner. Well, that had pace and direction, and Hayden Walker was just left watching it and admiring the pace. So Dylan Martin from the penalty corner makes it 3-1 to Fremantle Cockburn. Lockley turns away and pulled away from Aaron Hazel. Wiltshire played it to Jennings, gets the pass back. Webster's there, Jennings, and top of the circle it was Lewis, who just kind of had it yorking his feet as it was played with pace. Just was trying to get his feet out of the way and get a good connection on his stick. Zinner, good skills again. 2 players just left in his wake. Jennings that time just didn't quite get that one under control. Lockley, urgency, plays it forward. There's just 10 seconds left. Dylan Martin is going to place the ball. The players already start walking towards the dugout. Martin just taps the ball forward, and the hooter goes. And what a second quarter we've seen. 4 goals in that quarter after being 0-0 at the first break. Jennings opening the scoring, lifting the ball over Hayden Walker. Then Kleinschmidt from a penalty stroke within a minute pulled Reds level. But then it was Harrison Kima, a wonderful deflection from a penalty corner, and Dylan Martin with a direct shot from a penalty corner means that at the half-time break it is Fremantle Cockburn 3, Reds 1. Well, Fremantle, as we've seen previously, tend to go into 3 different groups during the half-time break. And they have, obviously, the defensive group there in screen. Fraser Gilly and James McPherson. Also Lee Cormack. Much more unified approach from Reds as they surround their coach and listen to his views. You can just see there Ian Smith just through. He was just walking between the 23 and 26 on your screen, Jeremy Main and James Cameron. Well, can't just tell you, since Fremantle Cockburn moved to Lakelands, and I don't want to put the hoodoo on them, they've played Reds 4 times here, and Reds have won 3, and there's been 1 draw. So Fremantle Cockburn yet to beat Reds here at their new home ground, the Bateau Turf in Lakelands. And so will this be the first day? And I can tell you they've already scored more goals in this game than they'd scored in those 4 games. Up until today, they'd only scored 2 goals against Reds here at the Bateau Turf and conceded 11. Well, they've scored 3 today, just up to half-time. And I'm sure they will feel that there's a few more waiting to be scored. So they'll be really hoping that they can get amongst the goals. Will be a concern for Reds, though, because that's we're halfway through this game, game number 4. 14 goals conceded in 3.5 games. And especially when you consider the form that Hayden Walker's been in. I know I keep talking about it, but he's made some wonderful saves in this game. Well, we've got a young player down in front of us, so I have to say he's not got a hockey stick, but he's playing mind hockey at the moment. It's great to watch. He's imagining he's got this stick and he's gone on mazy little runs. There he is. He's got his Magpies shirt on, or hoodie. I think now he's gone into the halftime entertainment mode. But he's having a whale of a time, and that is the future of the sport. Here he is. Well, anyway, the whistle has gone. The players will be making their way out shortly. And that little young Magpie will have to depart the pitch, although I don't think he'll be too willing to. Now the umpires are out. None of the teams have moved at all. Certainly there's plenty of messages being transferred. 3-1 to Fremantle Cockburn. Can they hang on? Can they get on with more goals? Or is there a way back for Reds? Certainly Reds have got the firepower, there's no doubt about that. Brodie Foster, Aaron Kleinschmidt, Adrian Lockley, even Zach Rackes is an up-and-coming player, and we know that they can all score goals. And of course the inclusion of Tom Craig coming back from injury, special dispensation for him to play today. Puff of the cheeks from Brodie Foster. He's playing a little bit deeper today, Brodie Foster, whereas to me, if you want the best out of him, you've got to have him right up in the forward line. So Tom Craig gets us underway. Looked to advance and was put under pressure. Hazel's forced him back into his own half. So Fremantle were ready for that. Comes to Craig again. Devon penalised for a stick check. Craig takes it quickly, advances, looks up now, pings it across the field of play. Main collects, keeps it in play right by the baseline. Main being forced across the face of goal, and he lifted that straight into the head of a Fremantle player. I think, is it, just trying to see who that is. I think it might be, it was Fraser Gilly. Pleased to say he's okay. Just caught him behind the ear, not a nice place to get hit, and I think he's going straight off to just get checked up on that one. Jimmy McPherson coming on. And of course, they shouldn't be concerned if Fraser Gilly starts speaking German, because he was born in Berlin and he is bilingual. But hopefully he's okay. Certainly a bit of a sore blow. So Dylan Martin over the ball now for Fremantle Cockburn for the 16. They'll time back on. Martin takes a touch, feeds it to Lee Cormack. Cormack down the line. That was well left that time by Aaron Hazel. It's going to be Fremantle Cockburn's ball on halfway. Lee Cormack. And the soft shoe shuffle. Daryl McCormack now carries it to halfway. Decides he will cross the line. Just stop for a moment to hesitate, going, should I go or not? Oh dear. And Rackes very nearly given a gift there. It will be Red's ball right below our commentary position. Coming across is Andrew Folds. Folds goes back to winning. Showed a little bit of the ball there and gave an opportunity for Webster to pounce. That's cleverly played again by Aaron Hazel into the shins, and Dylan Martin gets on with it quickly, looking to feed it forward. Tarrant Hammy-Jones read the pass well. Playing on quickly now is Chad Giles. Dylan Martin. He was tackled just on the 23-metre line by Hugh Wiltshire, but Wiltshire penalised, and then umpire saying it was actually inside the 23. So Dylan Martin goes inside there, feeds it wide now. Lee Cormack. Giles trying to get it inside the circle, forcing it in there. Rackes was trying to come out with it, but has won a free hit. Devon and Kleinschmidt come together. That's almost like a Titanic in the iceberg, isn't it? Those two coming together. Dylan Martin underneath that one, brings it down. Tim Devon. Oh, that was a lovely pass from him. Giles helps it on. Webster now. Webster feeds it forward again. Angwin. Hazel was just in by the near post. It's a penalty corner. Good work by Rhys Angwin. Penalty corner number 10 for Fremantle. If they can get another goal now, you feel they could well run away with this one. Just wonder the spirit of Reds will be really tested. And you can hear the wind in my commentary microphone. It is the sound effects microphone is tucked away out of the wind, so it's just the wind blowing straight into my face, I'm afraid to say. So again, Dylan Martin lines up first battery this time. Aaron Hazel is at the second. Angwin will inject from the baseline for Fremantle Cockburn. Martin just shifts his position slightly. They go to Hazel. Hazel took a touch, look for another foot. It's gonna, well, it is gonna be another penalty corner. So, Devon, the man who's doing the stopping at that second battery for Aaron Hazel. Chad Giles stopping for Dylan Martin. Not sure what that banging was, apologies for that. Devon is going to have to go himself. And across the face of goal, sharp save again, Hayden Walker. That was great work by Walker. And it deflects off the red stick. It'll be a long corner this time. Dylan Martin in a good position. Takes it quickly. Comes across now to Lee Cormack. Just realised we haven't seen much of Lane Carr since he got that blow to the head, which is a bit of a concern. Hopefully he is okay. Webster trying to weave a little bit of magic, but in the end, great defence. Watching the ball all the time was Lockley. Kleinschmidt clever out of defence, having a move, and it's stolen away by Devon. Oh, back through the legs of Wiltshire, and just not able to get on the end of that was Webster, although it's going to be a long corner to Fremantle Cockburn. Poor old Hugh Wiltshire was given a little bit of a lesson there by Devon. That's gone off the foot of Lockley, just outside the circuit. It's gone the 5 metres. Hazel was looking for a foot. Hazel's beaten 2. They've closed him down again. It'll go across, and in the goal it goes from Webster, but unfortunately there's, if you're a Fremantle Cockburn fan that is, the whistle had gone for a foot, just touching, I think, Hazel's foot as he was going into the circle. Main now. Spun away, Tom Craig, chased all the way by Fraser Gilly. Good defence again from Dylan Martin, just forcing Tom Craig to go backwards. Craig, though, turns away from Gilly again. Dylan Martin gets the touch, although the free hit was for a foul from Gilly. And this time it's McPherson who just stole it away. Martin ran away with it, feeds it to Hazel. He's given it back to Martin, but Martin is not going to get there. Hammy Jones, short pass from him, and then deflected over the sideline. Good work again from Aaron Hazel. Main. Good diagonal pass. Oh, super skills from Lockley to feed it to Foster. And unfortunately, Foster just stepping on the ball. Well, Adrian Lockley, the man who started his hockey at St Mary's in Darwin, captained the Northern Territory Stingers in the old Australian Hockey League. He's really showing what a quality player he is with some of his touches today. In it goes, and coming in was Keema, but he couldn't get on the end of Nick Jennings' ball. Just over 5 minutes gone in this third quarter. Still the same scoreline that we had at half-time. Wiltshire goes back. Hammy Jones will give it back to Winning again. He gives it straight back to Hammy Jones. Devon was about to pounce if they went square again. Wiltshire now looking to try and just pull away that time from Jennings. He's got the ball forward. This is a great chance for Reds. Nice work into the circle. Oh, that was good running coming from James Cameron. But it's Fremantle Cockburn who have the ball back now. And that deflection very nearly fell to Brodie Foster. And it is going to be a Fremantle Cockburn ball just inside the 23 from the sideline. Dylan Martin, 3 Reds players looking to close him down. He's given it to Foster. Foster, back post. Oh, well, coming in again was Cameron. And Ben Rennie will be a little bit annoyed that that was a soft turnover and it nearly led to a goal, but to be fair, it was good defence from recovery defence in the end. Well, Keema tried to just knock it round the Jeremy Main and run onto it. Devon now scoops the ball up over, finds Aaron Hazel. He's got a good run from Rhys Angwin. Angwin will collect that. Aaron Hazel coming in support. Angwin will go into the circle and finds a foot. Oh my word. That is an astounding decision from an umpire that was so close. And the crowd did not like it. And Angwin is still shaking his head in disbelief. Reds very fortunate. McPherson will bring that one down. Nice touch from Kima. Deven tries to get it there, falling as he goes, but I think that was, again, off the back of the stick as he tried to just get it on the reverse across the face of goal. So we're halfway through the third quarter now. Reds under a bit of pressure, but they have created a couple of opportunities themselves. That'll go over the side off the stick of Lee Cormack. So Reds ball again. Kleinschmidt, he scoops it up this time into the path of Remington Scott. Nice touch from Chad Giles, taking it over the side. Kleinschmidt again, self passes, goes towards the baseline. Plays it in, but played it straight to Dylan Martin. Fremantle having to play it in tight space. Good work by Kima. Had no right to get through that gap, but he did. Lockley steals in combination with Hammy Jones. Jeremy Main carries it forward now for Reds. Great block again, this time from Nick Jennings rather. Oh, and over the top, Angwin. He didn't get it under control first time. He will at the second bite. Looks to lift it into the circle. Good 3D skills. Held up at the edge of the circle. Good defence. Angwin trying to go. That was good defensive play again by Jamie Lewis. The ball coming on from the side now. Kleinschmidt. And Lee Cormack coming across. Well, again, late whistle. Played onto the foot. Clever by Cormack. Lee Cormack, who played for New South Wales for over 6 years. Into the circle they go, into Rennie between his pads. And another shot. And this time Wiltshire just mishitting that, but Wiltshire bursting through. Good opportunity for him. It's the Division 2 fairest and best for Reds in 2023, Hugh Wiltshire. Ben Rennie, though, with his international experience, both at indoor and, of course, having played for the Kookaburras, coming to the fore there as Lockley again tries to spark something. Fraser Gilly stops him momentarily. It'll be Kleinschmidt now. Made as if he was going to feed Main. Did that catch? No, it's Gilly's stick that time. Hazel, nice turn from him, pulled away from Lewis. Feeding it forward and can't keep it in play. Nathan Zinner very nearly kept it in play. Just an aircraft going overhead. Jennings goes square to Main. Main pulling away from Zinner and then finding the foot. Jeremy Main, ex-Victoria Park player. He was the 2022 fairest and best in the second grade. Tom Craig just left the ball behind as he was looking to burst through the gap. Had to just check back and get it under control. McPherson forces him laterally across the pitch. Rennie will have to come off his line, just side foots it out. Played out wide by Nick Jennings. Down the line it comes now. Turning away by Angwin. Angwin pursued by Lewis. Keeps going and he feeds it into the path of Hazel. Hazel into the circle. Hits it first time but is off target. I think there's a few players now turning to the umpire saying, are you going to talk to Jamie Lewis for the challenge you put in on Angwin? Played the advantage, but no conversation. Deven cuts out that one, carries over halfway. Good run ahead of him from Webster, lifted into the body of Jennings. And it's going to be, I think, a ball from the side, is it? No, it is going to be from the field of play. Fraser Gilly goes back to Dylan Martin. Good to see Gilly back out there after the blow to the head. Thrown into the air, into the circle, and penalised for coming into that space is Jennings. And a green card. So Brodie Foster and Jennings having a few words there. Jennings with 2 minutes on the side. Fremantle Cockburn a player down. Oh, lovely run from Foster, and there is a goal. Well, that is the work that Brodie Foster can do and the damage he can do as well. So not only did he get in an altercation with Jennings, which saw Jennings get a card, he then picks up the ball, runs into the circle and lifts it over the keeper to bring his team back in this match. 3-2 on the score board now. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Fraser Gilly. Foster now urging his teammates on around him, saying we've got this. I just feel Fremantle Cockburn need the next goal. They really do. Had a few opportunities. Dylan Martin. They've had 11 penalty corners as well. Harrison Keema is going to go through to Aaron Hazel into the circle looking for the pass, but cleared well by Hayden Walker. Jennings now. Infield it goes. Fraser Gilly collects. Giles goes square. Zinner has to go back into the defensive line. Lee Cormack can go square to Daryl McCormack. Webster now. Chad Giles decides to just keep possession. We're into the final minute here. Daryl McCormack. Final minute of the third quarter, that is, not of the whole game. Dylan Martin's going to get closed down. He just drifts away from Daniel Fisher. Fisher comes back, though. Daniel Fisher, though, just one of the young guns, just 18 years of age, playing for Reds. Plays for the North Albany Hockey Club. And Craig, again, it was a good pass, just miscontrolled, unfortunately for him. Lee Cormack throws it long. Just having to move Harrison Keema to get underneath that one. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. Well, they've certainly, Brodie Foster's goal, the only goal in that quarter, has given us now a real grandstand finish to this match. As we head into the final break, it is Fremantle Cockburn 3, Reds 2. Fremantle in a tight huddle now. Ben Rennie pulls the visor down on his helmet. 15 minutes to go to decide who will win the David Bell Trophy in 2024 in this Anzac Day Challenge match held every year. Fremantle Cockburn 3-1 up. They're now pegged back to 3-2. Can Reds get level? It's been a heck of a game. And Craig gets us underway. Again, has to go back eventually. Played square by Wiltshire. Winning. And the free hit goes Fremantle Cockburn's way. Jimmy McPherson carries it towards Kleinschmidt, then doubles back. Harrison Keemer goes back into Dylan Martin in the defensive line. He's pursued, and really you can see Reds now. The intensity is there. Foster coming forward to close down Gilly. Good skills by Gilly just to lift it over the stick. And unfortunately that time though, Nick Jennings just took his eye off the ball and it just dribbled over the sideline. So a turnover now. Jeremy Main goes to the air, throws it into the circle. Tom Craig was underneath the ball. Ben Rennie came out though. And the free hit goes the way of the goalkeeper. Aaron Hazel, can he keep that in play? No, he can't. Just the intensity that Reds came out. You feel that maybe there's a little bit of life in them still. Tim Deven, did he find the foot of Kleinschmidt? Yes, he did. This is usually a fixture that Fremantle Cockburn have done pretty well with in recent times. Harrison Keemer. Keemer lays it back. It was a good deflection inside the circle. I think it was Wiltshire who just deflected that one up to the top of the D. It's going to fall for Foster now. Foster gets the chance to run again at Darren McCormack. And McCormack, what a touch. Craig, though, into the circle he goes. McCormack again. Two superb tackles from Darren McCormack. Well, if ever you are in doubt of someone who wants to win, there's proof that Darren McCormack surely does. Zinner collects this time, feeds it forward to Webster. Webster's going to be pursued by Lockley, another fierce competitor, but in a red shirt. I can tell you that Harrison Keemer, one of the reasons that he joined Fremantle Hockey Club, or Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club as it's known today, was because of Darren McCormack. He attended a talk given by Darren McCormack, and he was so impressed with not only his passion but his professionalism. He decided this was the club he wanted to play for, and there it was, embodied in two vital tackles at a crucial time in the game. James Winning up the line. Lockley. Webster's stolen it. Lockley, though, cleverly onto the foot. No whistle, though. And Deven takes a tumble, and the free hit goes against Main. Well, there was a clear foot, but both umpires missing that one. Lockley, I think, feeling a little bit miffed. Comes to Jennings again. Jennings was closed down brilliantly that time by Rackus, working hard. And it's a free hit to Fremantle Cockburn. It's taken quickly by Nathan Zinner. Zinner trying to squeeze in between two Reds players. Comes out wide now to Dylan Martin. Stopped before it really got anywhere inside the circle. It's Brodie Foster down there in the corner. And when he swings back with his stick like that, you've got to be careful. Craig now, a little bit of space for him to attack. He had Kleinschmidt to his left, has cut back on the right. McCormack took a tumble, and it's Keemer comes back and is now impeded. Now Wiltshire, the player that just impeded Harrison Keemer. Just wonder if Tom Craig had fed it to Aaron Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt was, there were no defenders on the left-hand side of the pitch. They may well have covered across in time, but it's easy to say from up here. A lot easier, I can tell you. Kleinschmidt throws it into the air again. jumping from Lee Cormack to make sure that the ball never found the man behind him. It's going to be a long corner right out on the far side. Xavier Jennings on the ball for Reds. 5 minutes have elapsed in this final quarter. We have 10 minutes remaining. Reds looking for an equaliser. Hale, I don't know why I said Hale, my apologies. Fremantle Cockburn, of course, are looking for another goal just to let them breathe easy, give them that cushion. It's a long corner. It was off the stick of Jimmy McPherson. He's claiming it was off Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt poker face, not giving anything away. Winning goes back to Tarrant Hammy-Jones. Main, angle pass looking for Kleinschmidt, but it was a little bit behind him. So Dylan Martin just being told to hold the ball up because there was another ball on the pitch. McPherson will be closed down by Kleinschmidt again. It goes up off Kleinschmidt's stick. McPherson plays on. Keema should collect. Drops it back to Hazel. Hazel fires it in. Keema in front of goal. Just lost it. And that was unfortunate. It was a good build-up by Fremantle Cockburn. And Jimmy McPherson just edges that one over the side. Keema with a brilliant run into the circle and a great pass from Hazel. Kleinschmidt's played on. Deven got a touch. Kleinschmidt now finds the foot of McPherson. And plays on quickly. Plays it into space. Brodie Foster collects. Manages to turn Lee Cormack. Goes back for a second attempt. Cormack this time gets the ball. And it's carried away by Nathan Zinner. Foster gives chase, but Zinner surging forward. Good covering tackle in the end from Hugh Wiltshire. Webster thought he had it. Xavier Jennings is battling to get it back for Reds. And that's gone off the foot that time of Zach Rackes. Well, both teams are certainly looking for another goal. There's a little bit of a chill in the air now, I can tell you. A lot of people with blankets over their legs as they sit down below us. Good work again by Fraser Gilly. And that's gone over the side though. Webster couldn't get it under control. It was a difficult bouncing ball. Another good tackle coming in. Comes wide to Hammy-Jones. Sliding that one through the middle, but Dylan Martin collects. Harrison Keema goes on a run, so too Aaron Hazel. Good defensive cover, really good cover. That was Main. Main's been penalised, he's lost his stick. Zinner comes forward, takes it. Questionable whether the ball actually stopped. Dylan Martin. Nice ball, no. You could see he was trying to feed that into the path of Nathan Zinner, Aaron Hazel, but just probably got a little bit too much air on it and then it kicked off the turf. 6.5 remaining. Fremantle defending the David Bell Trophy they won a year ago. Reds desperate to get their hands back on it. Reds having won it in 2022 here at Lakelands in emphatic style. 6-0. Fremantle victorious last year, 3-2. And it may well be the same score as last year. Darryl McCormack. Foster's looking to close in. Thrown into the gap. Jennings will collect that. Angwin went through his legs with the stick. Oh, nice turn from Jennings. Good block coming back from Webster though, and the ricochet goes to Jeremy Main. Main driving through the middle of the midfield. Gives it back to Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt on the reverse stick. Good save, Ben Rennie. Still a chance though as it falls for Lockley. Up it goes off the pads of Rennie this time. Kleinschmidt will keep it in play. Strong challenge coming from Webster, and Webster, did he find the foot? He's still going, and then he gets bumped by Main. Zinner looking to try and pull away from Wiltshire. Wiltshire full stretch, and Zinner's now got 3 or 4 meters on him. Feeds it forward into the circle. Off his line is Hayden Walker, and a penalty corner conceded. Well, that was a brilliant break out of defence by Fremantle Cockburn from one end of the pitch to the other. And they win themselves another penalty corner. Penalty corner number 12. And what a time it would be for them to score. We're just into the final 5 minutes. 2 seconds into the final 5 minutes to be precise. Rhys Angwin makes his way tiredly down to the baseline. Dylan Martin just getting some advice from Jimmy McPherson. He's at the second battery. Aaron Hazel's at the first. Fremantle Cockburn would desperately like another goal right now, just to let them breathe a little bit easier in the remaining minutes. It goes to Dylan Martin, hits it low off the pads of Walker. It's going to ricochet kindly. Webster will collect that one. Webster has James Winning behind him, trying to find a foot reverse stick. That's gone up off Xavier Jennings' stick from Dylan Martin's shot. Goes out of the circle. Still alive for Fremantle Cockburn, although that was a clumsy challenge coming in from Jeremy Main. So it's a Fremantle Cockburn free hit. Look to slap that one into the circle. Again, it's Giles now tries to get it in. Deflected towards goal. Angwin, though, his shot hitting the outside of Hayden Walker's goal that time. So the clock continues to count down as Reds wait for the ball to be returned for the 16. Comes to Kleinschmidt. He helps it forward. Strong touch, and trying to play that into the path of Jennings was James Cameron. But they basically, I think, got in each other's way a little bit there. See what the idea was. Deven, short pass to Nathan Zinner. Brilliant tackle in the midfield by who else but Adrian Lockley. Strong coming out of defence that time as well. That was good work by Jeremy Main. Main's had plenty to do in this last quarter. Kleinschmidt, ricochet went behind him, but he's managing to surge forward now. Strong tackle again inside the circle, that time from Lee Cormack. Managed to get the ball out wide, and free hit one. Cormack goes into the night sky, and it kicks off the turf and has just gone out of play. So into Hammy Jones as we go into the final 3 minutes now. Xavier Jennings is wide on this left-hand side. Hammy Jones, he's played it straight into the stick of Aaron Hazel. Keema surging forward, so too Nathan Zinner. Hazel looking up as 2 Reds players look to converge on him. Plays the short pass to Zinner. Zinner got the better of the first defenders, but then is met with a second. And it will be a free hit. Hammy Jones, the player, penalised. Keema drifts to the back of the circle. And again, Fremantle Cockburn thinking they should have got a free hit. Well, there was a push in the back there. So I think that's Rackus that's just got a card. He's going to have to sit down for a couple of minutes. And there will only be 2 minutes left. So that will be the end of his game, one would feel. He might get on for 2 seconds. So Reds down to 10 with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. Brodie Foster really, again, trying to urge his team on. Gilly, strong on the ball, goes infield, manages to find Giles. Giles again, double teamed. Good work that time being done by Dan Fisher. Infield it comes again. Giles, a short pass from him to Deven. Deven goes back to Gilly, into the defensive line it goes. And it had to be good from Lee Cormack. Dylan Martin, strong. Fraser Gilly again. Gilly may have lost it, but will recover and get the ball back. Gilly advances, he loses out this time around. And that's good work down the right-hand side. And almost into the circle. Free hit going the way of Reds. Danger for Fremantle Cockburn, taken away from the circle, drilled in, but it took no, it didn't take a deflection. It was straight out of play into the side of the goal. And we've got 45 seconds remaining. So it looks at this stage as if Fremantle Cockburn will retain the David Bell Trophy and also continue what is a pretty good run in recent times. Aaron Hazel, into the side netting. Hayden Walker not required to make a save, but it means it's a turnover. Chance, good stepping out. Giles doing really well. Giles now just taking it to the corner. It's with Jennings. Jennings just needs to keep it alive in there. Red's desperate to steal it. It's gone over the sideline. And it's going to be a Fremantle ball. And there's 2 seconds left. And they go into the circle, but it is all for naught. And Fremantle Cockburn have won the David Bell Cup. And this is only their second win since COVID in the 8th meeting between these two teams. So a really big win for Fremantle Cockburn. Also their first win of the season. So really important for them. And they will be thrilled to bits with that. And of course we can't tell you who the Kevin Martin player of the match is because that will be decided after the game in the clubhouse. But a fantastic match on Anzac Day. It was Jennings who opened the scoring for Fremantle Cockburn. Kleinschmidt a minute later with a penalty stroke equaled things up before Harrison Keema deflected a penalty corner to make it 2-1 to Fremantle Cockburn. And Dylan Martin on the stroke of halftime made it 3-1 from a penalty corner. Brodie Foster scoring in the third quarter, livening things up. But the final score here, as it was a year ago, is Fremantle Cockburn 3, Reds 2.